Dannie Rogers here in Phoenix, Arizona, as the 2023 NFL annual meetings have ascended upon the Arizona Biltmore Hotel. We heard from General Manager Brad Holmes this week as the Lions have made a couple of splashes in free agency. Holmes doubled down on his process of acquiring the best player available, not the needs of the depth chart.
When you're approaching the draft and you're just looking to fill those question marks, fill those holes, I do think that can equate to some mistakes, and kind of because I say back in St. Louis even, it got to a point where we had a pretty strong defensive line, and we had some concerns elsewhere, but we just kept adding to our defensive line, and it just turned into this beast that was just a strength of the football team.
As with most, you're always looking to upgrade, and the free agency has given us the ability in areas to, we can do whatever we need to do in the draft. We feel pretty good about that. We don't feel forced to do anything. You got to take this, and so with that, I would say, it doesn't matter what the position is. If we can upgrade our team, top to bottom, we will do that.
Head coach Dan Campbell made his first appearance at annual meetings this week and introduced us to his new favorite phrase.
I like to use this is my new term, you're raising the floor, right? And a guy like Graham raises the floor again. He's been a starter in this league. He's been a pretty good center. He's got guard flex, obviously. And so he's a guy that we know can go in there and compete to start.
Campbell also reaffirmed his belief in quarterback Jared Goff.
Yeah, look, Lamar's a heck of a talent. Trying to defend that guy has been something else. We played them 2 years ago, but we got a quarterback. So I'm like, we got a quarterback, and thank God we got one. And so we're good.
Campbell got the most fired up talking about the new additions to the secondary and the re-signing of core locker room players like John Kaminsky and Isaiah Buggs along the defensive front.
Look, as you know, we've re-signed basically all of our defensive guys back, okay? And I get that. But we've also, all right, so with that, it's on all our guys back. Look, we got a lot of faith in Alex. That's why we want him back, He's a quarterback of our defense, all right? You got Barnes, who's got another year under his belt. You got Rodriguez, who's got another year under his belt. You got Hutch, who's got another year under his belt. You got Lynn McNeil's got another year under his belt, right? We're getting Charles back. We're getting Romeo back. You got Akuda's got another year under his belt. Jerry Jacobs got another year under his belt. We're getting Tracy back. Kirby's getting another year under his belt. All right, we bring in Sutton. We bring in CJ. All right, Mosley, hopefully he's going to be ready for the season to start, game one. Well, all of a sudden, if you don't do anything else defensively, we're going to be better. And we're already working on scheme right now, AG's back there cooking up all kinds of stuff because you have the flexibility to do some things now because of what we've done in the back end. So that alone, we're going to be better, and we haven't even hit the draft yet.
One name that
gets me fired up, Justin. I love it. Thank you.
Georgia defensive tackle Jalen Carter, who's been dealing with off-field issues ahead of the draft, could still make his case for number 6 overall to the Detroit Lions. Holmes and Campbell echoing each other on football character and judging each prospect with a case-by-case mindset.
Yeah, look, I think everybody's different, right? Every player, you got to take it case by case. I would say, football character is very important.
It varies. I always say it's case by case. So, if a player is really, really talented, and if there's something else that you have to figure out, we just kind of make sure that we're thorough, do our due diligence, and again, they're all case by case. So we just make sure that we're thorough in our work, thorough in our process.
You go through the character when you start talking about the position coach. You start talking to the head coach. You start talking to the resources at the school, and then you begin to develop, this is what this guy's really like. Like you talk about Carter, we talked to a teammate of his the other day, and he told us some things we didn't know, that nobody probably would have known. It was like, oh, it's interesting, it's pretty good. The human being always will make a difference. We don't want to bring in somebody that's going to do something that, that we're all going to be sorry about, that's not the idea, but usually, you have high football character. The other is pretty good. You have to be, I think, in a sense. So I think it is case by case. I think, you got to weigh how much is in that player? You know, how much are you going to be able to, is that player going to be able to benefit your team or impact your team immediately, and how consistent is it going to be? And then you got to make that determination.
Last but not least, head coach Dan Campbell confirming Detroit Lions will team up with the New York Giants for joint practices week 1 of the preseason. Location still to come.